The railways of Britain are nationalized to become British Railways. Mantell, UFO incident, and Deutsche Mark becomes the official currency of Germany. The year is 1948, and this was the last year Chevy offered facelifted pre-war designs. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that digs cars, not often talked about, history, specs, design, but most importantly, we show what these cars are like. In a lot of ways, it's like seeing these cars for the very first time. If that sounds of interest, a channel that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Real quick announcement, we are going to make a new premiere time at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or Pennsylvania time, and I will do my best to post at that time going forward. If you're new to the channel, these episodes go live/premiere, so I'm always there in the comment section. 1948 Chevy model lineup: Style Master, Fleet Master, and Fleet Line. They also had a truck line going from half-ton all the way up to the big commercial. Style Master could be had as a two-door business coupe, four-door sports sedan, five-passenger coupe, and two-door town sedan. Style Master first appeared in 1946, and it was available until 1948. 1948 was the last year of the pre-war styled cars, and I know you're sitting there, but Jay, it's 1948, which is 3 years after World War II ended. The Big Three spent a lot of money tooling new designs for the 1942 model year. But on December 7th of 1941, Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, and then the U.S. entered World War II. FDR shut down the automotive industry February of 1942 for war production. The American car market was shut down until after the war. After the war, the Big Three just blew off the dust off the dies and would produce facelifted pre-war designs. Just to drive this point home, 1942, 1946, 1947, 1948, very similar. The independent car manufacturers were able to put out new and fresh products right after the war. And they had a head start, but make no mistake, once the Big Three caught up, it was all over for the independents, which were forced to merge with other companies or they died. So let's compare 1942 on the top, 48 on the bottom, starting in the front. The body shells are very much the same, but the names are different. In 42, this body style was called Coach. In 1948, this body style was called two-door town sedan. Bumpers are different. The grille on the 42 is taller and wider than the grille on the 48. Turn signal/running lights have been moved as well as changed from vertical to horizontal. Both have painted bezels. Badging and trim are also different. Both have rocker molding. Both have split windshields with a center bright molding, but no other moldings around the windshield. Moving aft, the bumpers look very similar, if not the same. Taillights, the same thing. The angle of the 42 isn't the same, and I apologize for that. It was really hard to find images of a 42 Coach. Gravel guards on both, but bright on the 48 versus rubber on the 42. Trim goes around the rear just below the windows on the 48, whereas on the 42, it's just a tad bit lower and it extends onto the hood section. Both have the gas fillers on the same side. Jumping inside to take a look at the dash and interior situation, the gauge layout is the same, but they have different faces. Revised dash and steering wheels. Which one do you like better? Let's talk specs. 197.75 inches long, 73.4 inches wide, 66.1 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 116 inches. It weighs 3,100 pounds. Price, $1,300, which is equivalent to you spending $16,636.60 in the year 2024. Total, 1948 Chevy was 696,449 units, of which 173,593 were Style Master, and of that number, two-door town sedan was 70,228 units. Moving on to engine. Only one engine on offer for this car, 216.5 cubic inch displacement, overhead valve, inline six, 3.5 liters. It's good for 90 horsepower at 3,300 RPM, 168 pound-feet, or 228 Newton meters at 1,800 RPM. With a bore of 3.5 inches and a stroke of 3.8 inches, compression is 6.5 to 1, features 4 main bearings. When backed with a 3-speed manual transmission, 0 to 60 could be had in 21.7 seconds with a theoretical top speed of 74 miles per hour while achieving an average 15 miles to the gallon. This slightly customized 1948 Chevy style line is currently for sale at Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, with over 1,000 cars for sale. When recording this episode, anybody can go there and peruse their inventory in person. If you'd like to see more pictures as well as more information on this very car, be sure to click the link below after this show. Let's talk styling. And then they just have these like hoods. It almost looks like a baseball cap over the headlights. So look at all of the different bright bars going on with the grille design, bumpers and how they are designed. This one has accessory lights that are mounted to the apron. Turn signals. Look at these fenders. And then moving up to the hood section, it does have a center line coming down to the hood ornament. Also notice this car has a split windshield. Cowl vent as well as windshield wipers are up on little pedestals. Style Master. The fenders are rolled. This one is sitting on bias ply tires, which are 6.0016. This one also has rocker trim. Also notice how this fender protrudes more out than the body. And then it kind of sort of meets up with it right there. But not quite. It's still protruded. Rear view mirrors here. This one does have drip rails that start right here. And they run the cabin back here. This one does have gravel guards, fender. It's also rolled on this wheel well as well. Tiny brake lights, looks like a backup light. This one has a single piece back glass. So notice this door panel does not have an armrest on it. You just use this as an armrest. Unlock and lock the door. Door handle to get out. Window crank for the big window operates like this. This is a crank for the vent window. And it operates like this. Coming down inside the pedal box down here. Hand brake. High beam switch for the lights. Clutch, brake, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. Here's what over the hood looks like. Here's what first person over the hood looks like. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left and moving right. These are aftermarket gauges. The original ones would look like this. Gasoline gauge, water temperature, amp meter, headlights, oil pressure, speedometer with odometer inside, key, hand throttle, radio, which looks like a Mustang unit with the horse logo, but it does have an auxiliary port to perhaps plug a phone into so you could listen to whatever you wish. Choke, 12-volt power port, also added because this car was originally a 6-volt car. Clock, ashtray, windshield wipers. Up above, there are sun visors, and they look like this. This one has a vanity mirror attached to it. I'm going to say this real quick. I don't think that the material that the sun visor is made out of is same as the material on the door panels, as well as the seat material is the original material. I think it's been redone. Rear view mirror here. There is also another sun visor over here with another vanity mirror attached to it, so you can see what you look like. On to the glove box test. Here's our test subject. Here is my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. Oh man, it's tight. There we go. And it shuts. All right, getting in the rear. So that is how much space you have to get back there. Also, notice how flat the floor is. So here is what the front looks like from the back. Let's take a quick gander at the greenhouse, or the pillar to glass ratio, which is really nice in this car. This is what visibility looks like out the back from the back seat. There's a nice parcel shelf behind us. Let's talk creature comforts. This seat is pretty comfortable. It does bulge out here a little bit in the center. It's slightly reclined. The seat back does dip down ever so slightly. And like I just mentioned in the front, I'm pretty sure that this material is, these seats have been redone. There is an armrest. The windows do go down back here. There is not a coat hook, but there is a dome light there in the center. Everything that's found on the passenger side is also found on the driver's side. Armrest. No coat hook, but the windows do open. They go down. Operate like this. And that's all the further they go down. So about halfway. There is tons of knee space between my knees and the back of these seats. Robe rail on back of each seat for a heavy blanket in the wintertime. Under the hood, line 6, oil bath air cleaner. Notice the oil filter is outside of the block. It's in that canister there. Steering shaft going down there. This one has an upgraded alternator. The radiator's right there. Interesting. The battery is right there, and this one looks to be a 12-volt battery. So they must have upgraded. Distributor is on this side, as well as coil. On the positive side, spacious, both front and rear. Camera fits in the glove box. All windows open. Body parts and mechanical parts in good supply. Club support. Against it, the 216 is sort of gutless. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. 2 scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1948 Ford Deluxe or 1948 Chevy Style Master or 1948 Plymouth Special Deluxe? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. All right, moving on to the second scenario, 1948 Studebaker Champion or 1948 Chevy Style Master or 1948 Dodge Deluxe. Once again, got to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have your comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. If you'd like to get in touch with me, shoot me a comment in the comment section below or send me an email, which will be linked in the description below. Until next time. Toodaloo! At this very moment, I realized that this car isn't stock, and that is what the long pause was for that I cut out of this episode. But I figured, what the hell, we'll show this one anyway.